Hello everybody, Toast Bomb here, back bringing you more Halo 4 gameplay commentary. Today, you will be taking a look at MLG pro player Hysteria, who just dominates, even though his controller was messed up, so that's why you randomly see him meleeing everywhere, and the TVs are really laggy that they're playing on, which really affects people who play a lot of Halo like him, because they're so used to having it fast and responsive. Also, this is not my video, I did not record it. It is MLG Bravo's video, so all credit goes to him. Links in the description if you want to check out his video. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want, because without his video, this video would not be possible. So today, though, we're going to be talking about the Auto Sentry. If you did not know, the Auto Sentry is basically like a Tamagotchi that you don't have to feed, that shoots and kills people. That's essentially what the Auto Sentry is. Other things you could compare it to is maybe like the equipment that you got in the Halo 3 campaign that allowed you to deploy a Sentinel, a little like mini version of the Sentinel that would follow you around and shoot people. As far as I know, the Auto Sentry does not actually follow you around. It will just sit in one spot and shoot guys. The downside to it is that it doesn't shoot very fast, it doesn't do a ton of damage, and the shots that it's firing are really slow projectiles, so at range they can be dodged very easily. Also, its health is extremely low, so it only takes a few shots for it to get taken out. So it's not going to be super useful in every situation that you put it in, so it's going to have to be used and positioned very tactically to make it effective. Or possibly even you might need 2 to 3 of your teammates using these things to really make them effective, which might make them a little less practical in-game, especially with randoms, but it could possibly yield really successful results. For instance, it could be really helpful for when you're defending a flag, possibly. You could have your entire team set them up everywhere, and even if they're not doing a ton of damage, shooting a lot, or really hitting anybody in general, you're still having 2 times the things shooting at the enemy that you would otherwise, so you could very easily overwhelm them and stop that push. Also, since it's not the most practical thing for actually killing people with, it seems like, it could be used as sort of a guard for your blind side. Maybe like you're guarding a tunnel and you kind of have a few different positions that you have to be watching, but it would be really nice if you just had some guy to watch one of the sides to let you know if there was an enemy coming. You could be watching those 2 positions, and on the 3rd position, place the Auto Sentry, and if it starts shooting, you'll know that an enemy is coming. Even if it doesn't do any damage, or just gets taken out right away, it still will start shooting, you'll hear that and know that somebody is there. It could also be extra useful for game types like MLG, where you don't have a radar that you could rely on for guys that you can't see. Also, I guess you could kind of replace it with Promethean vision, but the problem with Promethean vision is that it's directional. You don't have any review mirror in your Spartan armor, so you can look behind you. You'd actually still have to turn around, which kind of defeats the purpose. And then also, I have a pretty big question about this thing, and that is how many can you actually have at one time? Not necessarily in a practical multiplayer session, but say something like custom games. In Halo Reach, there was an option to have unlimited armor ability, so you could jetpack forever, sprint forever, or do anything forever. If that same option is in Halo 4, and you could just continuously place down Auto Sentry after Auto Sentry and there'd be 0 cooldown, how many could you have at one time? 15? 25? That could lead to some really cool custom game types. Say one person spawns as the zombie with Auto Sentries on top of this huge canyon on the high ground, and everyone else spawns in this wide open valley at the bottom of the canyon. Now the zombie places all the Auto Sentries he can around the canyon, and then at like 5 minutes all the players start running across the canyon unarmed, trying to get across from the before the Auto Sentries kill them. If you could place like 25, that would be really cool, but if you could only place 3, it wouldn't quite be to the same effect. Or also, if you think about it, in the previous Halo games, we've had, say, the grav lift and stuff like that, that you could also spawn in Forge. It wasn't only just an equipment, and it would stick around all the time. So I'm almost wondering if maybe you can spawn these in Forge and have them only shoot at red team or blue team or just everybody. So you could place them in spawns so people wouldn't spawn trap and get into the player's spawns. It would prevent them from doing that. Or you could have some sort of tower defense thing going on that you could have one player just placing them in certain spots and making a maze, and then all the other players would try to run through it and make it in there alive. Or something like that. It could open up some really interesting opportunities and custom game types that you could actually create. So I'm kind of curious and hoping maybe that you can spawn those in Forge. But yeah, those are pretty much my ideas with it. I just want to say I'm really glad with the direction they're taking these. They're not super overpowered, or at least they don't seem to be at this point. They're very easy to take out, balanced, and they need to be placed very tactically to actually be effective. They're not some sort of overpowered thing that's going to be way better than all the other armor abilities or anything like that. They seem very balanced and fair. But yeah, that's pretty much all the ideas that I have. Again, this is not my video. MLG Bravo's video, links in the description if you want to check out his video or any other videos, because he posts really awesome videos and Halo 4 gameplays because he was able to go to PAX. If you guys have any of your own ideas for like cool custom game ideas that you could do with the Auto Sentry, feel free to post those in the comments, because I would be curious on seeing what you guys come up with, because I only was able to come up with a few things and you guys are probably way smarter than me anyways. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much gonna do it for this video, I suppose. What about the gameplay? What did you guys think about the gameplay? That's probably the best gameplay that I've seen so far. He was out BRing people just left and right, just taking kids out. I've seen Walshy play. I've seen some other pro players play their gameplays, and nobody seems to be as crisp and just on it as Hysteria. He seems to be really strong so far in this game. Of course, I mean, that's not really saying much. It's very early in the game's life. Actually, the game really technically hasn't even been born yet, so it's hasn't even had a life yet. But he just seems to be really on it with his shot compared to the other players. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. If you liked the video, of course, you can leave a like or a comment. If you really like the video, you can subscribe because I post new Halo videos every day. Thanks for watching. Bye.